I would like to talk about the tomato spaghetti. People all have different memories and experiences with the same food. For example, someone who got sick after eating a particular food naturally has a feeling of rejection of the food, despite the fact that the food itself may not be harmful. The taste and aroma of the food are always the same, but it can be perceived different based on people's memories and experience. In this presentation, I chose tomato spaghetti as a memorable food. This presentation will explore various perspectives, including personal experiences, historical facts, and recipes for tomato spaghetti. I divided my mind by five parts: taste, flavor, symbolism, personal anecdotes, multisensory experience. Firstly, tomato spaghetti has sour, sweet, and salt taste, and also it has olive, garlic, basil flavor. In terms of symbolism, tomato spaghetti is the iconic food of the Italian, and it is often described as a dish enjoyed in American household. In my personal anecdotes, until high school, I didn't eat food made of tomatoes because of the sour taste of tomato. One day, tomato spaghetti was served for school lunch. Normally, I wouldn't have eaten it, but I was so hungry that day, and if I didn't eat lunch, I wasn't able to eat anything until dinner. So I decided to try tomato spaghetti once, and it was much better than I expected. Since then, I became to like tomato spaghetti. And tomato spaghetti has a red color that stimulates the appetite, and tomato spaghetti offers a rich and diverse aroma of garlic, basil, and olive oil. The chewy texture of the pasta and the moistness of the tomato sauce always make for a pleasant experience. There are some fun facts of tomato spaghetti. The first one is tomato spaghetti is one of the most famous pasta in the world. And second thing is Italian consume an average of 26 kilograms of spaghetti per person each year. And also Americans consume an average of 9 kilograms of spaghetti per person each year. Last one is really interesting because tomatoes were considered poisonous before the 17th century. However, from the 17th century, tomatoes became common and were used in various dishes. In the geographic perspective, Italy is one of the major producers of tomatoes, where different varieties of tomatoes are grown in the different parts of Italy. Tomatoes originated in western South America or Central America, but in the 16th century, when Spain conquered Latin America, tomatoes were introduced to Europe. Italy was one of the first area where tomatoes were introduced to Europe, and many tomatoes were grown in Italy because its warm and dry summer and mild winter climate were suitable for tomato cultivation. As a result, tomato-based dishes naturally developed in the country. Also, because spaghetti was first made in the southern part of Italy, tomato spaghetti cooked with tomato and spaghetti was naturally born. In the historical perspective, tomato spaghetti became one of Italy's representative dishes of Italian cuisine, cuisine because it became established dishes in Italy for a long time. As it became famous as an Italian dish, it became a world famous dish. And now you can easily eat tomato spaghetti anywhere in the world. Also, the influence of Italian immigrants contribute the popularity of tomato spaghetti in the world in the United States. In economic perspective, tomato spaghetti is now easily accessible and affordable worldwide. Also, products that related with tomato spaghetti, such as sauce and pasta, contribute to Italian economy. Italy plays a significant role in the tomato spaghetti as an exporter of tomato sauce and pasta in the world. From a nutritional standpoint, tomato spaghetti provide carbohydrate from the pasta, which is an essential source of energy from individuals. Tomatoes, the main ingredients, are rich in vitamin C, potassium, vitamin K1, folic acid. Tomatoes are known to be good for heart disease, cancer prevention, and skin health. The nutritional profile of tomato spaghetti can be changed depending on additional ingredients used, such as adding meat for protein intake. This is the source ingredients: spaghetti, olive oil, salt, tomato sauce, basil, garlic. And there are some substitute. The spaghetti can be replaced with other pasta. Using different type of pasta may not give you the exact traditional tomato spaghetti, but it will still have a similar taste because the flavor primarily comes from the tomato sauce. And if texture is important, you should choose pasta carefully. Each type of pasta has slightly different cooking method, which significantly affect its texture. Also, spaghetti comes in a wide price range, so it is essential to select according to personal preference. Expensive spaghetti has a low surface, so it absorbs the sauce effectively and enhancing the overall flavor. That's why it tastes even better. But if you're looking for a cheap spaghetti, you can choose the cheapest spaghetti that's sold at big stores like Woolworth and Coles. And tomato sauce can be replaced with tomato paste and canned tomato. Currently, there are many tomato sauces on the market to make tomato spaghetti easily. These tomato sauces are seasoned to make it easy to make. So you can make and eat tomato spaghetti without any other additives. But if you have tomato paste and canned tomato at home, they can be used as well. Tomato paste can easily replace tomato sauce by simply adding more water. However, it requires careful measurement to balance the amount of tomato paste and water properly. And canned tomato contain a whole of peeled tomato, which is why need to be finely chopped or blended using a mixer before use. However, the advantages of canned tomato lies in their extended shelf life. And basil also can be replaced with basil paste. Using fresh basil visually enhances the dish, but using basil paste is also acceptable. Basil paste provide even more flavor and have a longer shelf life than fresh basil, so basil paste is sometimes considered a better condition. In this part, I will explain how globalization and mass production have affected and how food packaging has developed. Spaghetti became globalized and gave variety to the kinds of spaghetti. For example, meatball tomato spaghetti and mac and cheese are American dish, not Italian ones. In addition, the mass production of spaghetti led to a variety of cheap types of spaghetti on the market. And as mentioned earlier, canned tomato have a long shelf life because they are packed aseptic in cans. It has an average shelf life of 3 to 5 years. This provides convenience by increasing the shelf life due to our packaging. However, there is a cumbersome process when making tomato spaghetti, so you can choose according to your taste. Likewise, fresh basil only lasts about 10 days. However, basil paste has a shelf life of more than a year. These are the evolution of storage and packaging method because food is globalized and needs to be stored for a long time to be exported to other countries. As shown earlier, tomato spaghetti has many alternative food. The quickest way may be to be follow the traditional method. However, for those seeking a more delicious outcome, there are various alternative method to consider. Firstly, let's see the my video. Just boil water and add salt and add spaghetti noodle and let it cook. While the spaghetti noodle is cooking, chop the garlic. Then, to save time, clean up the knife and cutting board.
When the noodle are almost cooked, fry the garlic with olive oil. When the garlic and noodles are cooked, transfer the spaghetti noodle to the pan. At this point, add some 6 tablespoons of water and fry. Then add tomato sauce and basil paste. When the pasta is fully cooked and the sauce thickened, turn off the heat and add some 3 spoons of water and olive oil and shake the pan to mix the spaghetti noodle and tomato sauce well. That's all, okay. And there's some tips. The reason I took out the spaghetti noodle about 1 to 2 minutes before the time indicated on the package is if you cook the spaghetti noodle until the end, it might cause them to be overcooked. And the reason I use the water in which the spaghetti noodle were cooked in the enhance the flavor by using water that contains starch and salt. Lastly, adding the water used to boil an olive oil at the end allowed the sauce to stick better to the spaghetti. My final thoughts: tomato spaghetti may be familiar to some and unfamiliar to others, but for me, it is a food that has memories and gave me new thought about food. Also, I strongly recommend tomato spaghetti to those who are looking for cheap food or want to make it quickly. Also, if you go to restaurant and eat tomato spaghetti, it will give you a good taste different from cooking and eating it yourself. Because there are various variation, the combination of ingredients can create a different taste every time, depending on what food you eat together. Tomato spaghetti, which can be enjoyed anywhere in the world, is thought you continue to be loved by people and change it into a more diverse form. Thank you.